a limited amount of time. That's a lot of points per minute.
And they've got a familiar face on their bench, as we'll discuss more about him as the Govs able to break the pressure. Both teams going to press some tonight. That's obvious here early on. Into the big freshman. He gets hacked in the act. He'll go to the line. And really the best thing about that sequence, that's number 2 on Prestel. He's been their top scorer.
Yeah, it is. Go after him immediately. And he was shooting, as the old saying goes, immediately when he got off the bus. This is the kind of situation I'm really looking forward to with Hutchins Everett, the big guy at the center. They list him at 6'11", 270. And the Governors have some height, albeit deeper down the bench. And again, we hope to see that tonight. But this, to me, is where, if they're going to make a push in this conference this season with the kind of talent around them in the post, I think this is a big part of it right here. It's number 4.
Oh, you're exactly right. As Austin Peay did play their private scrimmage, no media allowed. They played at Middle Tennessee on Sunday. They lost 67-60, but Coach was telling me the big guy pulled down 14 boards in the game, the 3 off the mark by Preston, 1 and done as the Govs look to run. But he is running the floor just as we speak. He can't get the finish, but the big guy is going to play a big role this year, the 4-star recruit.
Let him run down the floor. You like to see that. Yes, it's a miss. And again, yes, it's an exhibition, but those are just some things you see come out in a game-type situation. And the Governors fell behind early at middle. Look at this.
Got the finish. It's Copeland on the run out. He's off to a 5-point start. And we're going to get a break in the action. 9-0. Austin Peay with the fast start. And this hot shooting running Eagles team is unable to find a bucket so far.
Well, they've got to get back on defense, and they're just getting outrun in transition. And obviously that's a big problem there with Kevin Easley calling the timeout. And it's good to see him in the building again. Good to see Dave Luce Jr. Down here in the end zone in the normal spot. And kind of a reunion. I saw a lot of other familiar Governor players from not so way back past, but more close to my time, Barry.
Kevin Easley, the head coach at Life University, is in his 4th year. Former Governor, played from 97 to 2001, a mass comm major, so one of our guys here from back in the day. Peabody High School in Trenton, 42 up, 44 down in his 4 years there in Marietta, Georgia. But longtime assistant at UTC, UNC Wilmington, UNC Asheville, High Point, Greensboro, and he spent some time in the OVC at Tennessee Martin, where he recruited and really developed a great player. We remember Marquise Wendell from the Skyhawks. Govs come with their pressure. Life able to break it after they get the timeout. They're going to get a look from 3, and they'll bang it home. So Cam Horton hits the 3. They're going to hoist a lot of them. 51 3-point attempts through their first 2 games.
And they'll hoist them in transition, to your point, Barry, and that was case in point right there. And I love the way the big guys run the floor for the Governors.
Hassan Diouf. So Diouf out of Dakar, Senegal, able to run the floor. That's something he does really well. 3 years at Fresno State, coming in here. But, man, he gets from end to end only in a few steps.
That's all it takes when you're 7'2".
11-3. 3 out of the left corner won't go. It's been 1 and done for Life so far, as Hernandez can't get it to go, and they have to get back in a hurry or they're taking the ball out of the net. Here's a deep 3 in transition. The trailer will knock it home, and Cam Copeland off to the big-time start tonight.
I really like the way he's playing inside and out, and that time clearly just a case of being left open in transition and had no problem putting it up from 20-plus.
14-3, Austin Peay off to the fast start. Final tune-up. Regular season will begin on Tuesday night for the Govs. Prestel on a handoff. He'll get it to Barnes. Got it blocked by Diouf. Paez pass picked off. Silver stays with it. It's loose. Carlos will get it. Coming in the back door. Carrawell. Almost a little too much passing that time. And the Govs will turn it over, but they had a great opportunity to build on this big lead early. 14-3. Here, exhibition basketball tonight at the Dunn Center. Austin Peay and Life University. We're going to head to a break. Come back with more from Clarksville after this timeout here on ESPN+. All Austin P early here, 14-3. Barry Gresham, Bob Belvin with you courtside. Bob, let's take a look at our keys to the game tonight. They're presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Designate before you celebrate, because fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Well, early for Life University, the three-pointers, clearly a need for them. Sure helps a lot to get to the 90-plus average, and they've not been able to hit one here early on. Or check that, they're 1 of 4, I should say, early on. And for Austin Peay, it's built chemistry. That seems like kind of a generic response to an exhibition game. We really want to see how this team acts under the lights in the home setting with a lot of different lineup combinations. I think that's really important for any coach at any level in this exhibition team. But you got a first-year coach with a lot of transfers, all of which are on the floor now. You really want to see how you can build that chemistry and put this team together heading into conference season.
Drive off the mark. Wouldn't go for Tylen Green, who is making his debut tonight. Comes down the floor in a hurry. Again, they're going to play a lot of players tonight, trying to find the rotations. Here's Noel Scott. He'll bang home a three out of Los Angeles.
Another one of those transfers that I mentioned. And again, good secondary transition then for the Governors, and a very good pass by Calderon to open up that three. And here comes Presnell now.
Presnell bangs home the three, so both of the buckets for the running Eagles have been the three-point variety. Horton hit one, now Presnell has hit his. He was just 1 of 4 in their first 2 games from three-point land. Doing his damage in the paint. Had 27 points, 10 boards in their last game, and they're going to get an illegal screen, it looks like, here.
I like this lineup the Governors have before. They're going to take Diouf out, the big guy 7-2 out. And let's see what this lineup that the Governors have on the floor now is all guard, if I'm correct. Got pretty much an all guard situation here. So that looks a whole lot different than the team they had on the floor 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. Hassan Diouf, the big man, picked that foul up. And we see the freshman, Hutchins Everett did come in for him. Always going to keep, looks like a post player with really 4 wings. Ball ripped away, but they're going to say jump ball possession arrow will stay with Life out of the NAIA Mid-South Conference. That's some good basketball played in that league. 3 teams, I think, already ranked out of the Mid-South Conference in the NAIA Top 25.
Yeah, and I would argue anything in that metropolitan Atlanta area, when you talk about that geographically, is pretty good basketball. I would liken it to a St. Louis or a Memphis, and we're kind of more geographically familiar with. But yeah, just looking at this team, I mean, obviously they're well coached, and yeah, we're partial to Kevin when it comes to that, but they just seem to fundamentally know how to run breaks, when it's there, when it's not. There's just some tendencies I see out of them that look like a first-class basketball team.
Hernandez runner won't go. Again, still some shot clock issues tonight. Alec Woodard to get a touch out of the right corner for 3, around the rim, and popped out on Alec. He's one of the 6 returnees and has played some big minutes in the past.
Yeah, Alec Woodard, to me, last season toward the end, his defense was outstanding. It was off the charts for Matt Figure's team then, and I felt like if he could just pick up a little bit of offense and did a little bit more than just enough, he found himself with a lot more playing time.
17-6, Austin Peay. Life just 20% shooting so far. Guys have been after it defensively. Champ Dawson, he'll dump it to Presnell. He'll go against Hutchins Everett, hit the jump hook off the right block.
Boy, I like Presnell's game. You're right, that jump hook inside the paint. He's hit a 3 earlier. I really like Presnell's game.
Foul whistled on Hernandez. It's his first. Third team foul on Life so far. So 2 freshmen. We mentioned the big guy, Hutchins Everett, and Drew Calderon. Calderon is out of the Woodlands, Texas, sharpshooter on this team. 1,000-point scorer in high school. Pass dumped inside to the big fella, goes up, missed it, too strong, and got hacked. No call. And the foul on Alec Woodard. He gets fouled as he tries to follow up on that offensive board.
Everett got to get a little better touch around the basket. He put both off the back of the rim when he had both the follow shot off his first miss, and he's got to work on that little bit of a touch there And not so much a banger on the shot process inside the paint there, but really like how he shoots free throws.
Yeah, he's looked good so far, 3 for 3. Recruited by Villanova, Syracuse, Seton Hall, Miami. His prep school in Connecticut, won the national title his junior year. 4-star recruit, and is a player that Coach James was able to get and rated one of the top 20 center in the country. So to get him to Clarksville, that was a huge get.
Well, it is. And just think of how important that's going to be, Barry, when Austin Peay gets into OVC season. And I will also add, I think this Life University team looks a lot like some OVC teams we're going to see, just with their size, reasonably good speed, and the desire to press it up the floor.
Cam Horton will run the point, and he'll call his own numbers. He gets the step and gets the finish. So Cam's 5 points, Presnell 5. They have the 10 points for Life U. Again, the Govs break the press. Had some struggles against the pressure late in that game when they let a 6-point lead get away in their scrimmage with Middle Tennessee. Lost it by 7. Here's a steal.
Did I mention Presnell's defense as well in the low post? He's an outstanding player.
Now Horton, as we hit the 12-minute mark in this one. 19-10 Austin Peay. Again, regular season begins on Tuesday. Presnell got the step, and he got bumped on the way to the hole.
Never mind those 2 early fouls for Presnell. He's going to remain in this game. He's a big part of what Life wants to do, both on the offensive and the defensive end.
They're going to get the foul on the reach in on Scott. Will lead us to a break. 19-10, Austin Peay on top. Exhibition basketball on ESPN+. Welcome back to Clarksville, Tennessee. Exhibition hoops. Football season continues. Austin Peay at home this Saturday. Eastern Illinois will come calling an OVC play.
You're working a lot this week, aren't you, buddy?
Busy week, yeah.
It is. It is that overlap time.
Right.
I had a basketball coach tell me one time, very successful, when he goes, I love it when the days get shorter. That means football is fading away a little bit, and it's basketball time. That was selfish on his part, but you get the drift, right?
Yeah. We'll mention our series history. First meeting between these two schools that's presented by Delta Dental. Unleash your smile power with Delta Dental. That foul was on Scott right before we went to the media break, and Presnell to the stripe where he will miss the first. Again, it's Cam Horton, Nathan Presnell with all the points tonight. They have 5 each, and each player's hit a three-pointer for Life as Presnell gets 1 of 2. And again, Kevin Easley, head coach, an Austin Peay alum tonight for Life U, goes back to his bench. He's going to play a lot of players as well, as he wants to play that breakneck pace, up and down pressing. You're going to use a lot of bodies.
Yeah, Presnell will play to the next dead ball because he's going to get first seat up beside Kevin Easley and the assistant coach on that side, but needs a little bit of a blow and then work him out of the timeout as well.
And Hutchins Everett can't get the finish. after they break the press. Austin Peay's been very impressive against the pressure, but they haven't scored nearly 4 minutes. Their last field goal, that is. So Life trying to claw back into it. At any minute they could get hot from three, but Horton forced that one, trying to shoot over the big guy, and he airballed it.
It's almost like they don't have any rhythm to their offense at the half court if Preslow's not in the game. And by that I mean the ball going through him. And they looked a little disjointed in that last possession.
Cameron Copeland is back out there, off to a great start. 8 points to lead Austin Peay as they look at his zone by LifeView. Scott out of LA didn't have a season a year ago. It was canceled due to COVID. And the jumper's good. Cameron Copeland really looking good tonight.
To my recollection, Austin Peay really did not have a shooter like Copeland last season just to pop up and hit that 16, 18-footer. Nice addition. That's a big repertoire in Copeland's game.
Back to a double-digit lead. Under 11 to go in the first half. Game 2 of tonight's doubleheader, and a turnover as the running Eagles will give it up for the third time tonight.
Again, Austin Peay's gone with that kind of 4-guard, 1-post kind of lineup.
Still in the zone is LifeView. They want to go back into Copeland to the Govs, and he's fouled. Horton trying to come over the top, and that's number 1 on Cam Horton. 15 foul on Life.
You know, Barry, you mentioned the kind of little bit of a drought for the Governors leading up to that bucket by Copeland just a moment ago, where they're shooting 50% from the field so far tonight. And it was a torrid start, and to your point, it's kind of cooled down a bit.
Off the inbound, Tariq Silver unable to get it to go. They had a 2-on-1 if they hurried, and they're going to get the foul as Silver's going to pick it up. As LifeView trying to get something in transition. Trey Kelly.
Silver, that shot was flat. It had no rotation on it at all, and was short front of the rim and allowed running the Eagles to get out. But then they kind of got jammed up. They had 3 players probably within 6 or 8 feet of them and didn't execute that fast break opportunity as well as they should have.
That's Chris Barnes, 0 instead of 30 on the break, who got fouled. He's at the line. He's had a couple of good games, 22 points in the opener against Thomas. Transfer from Eastern Michigan. And he'll roll in the second. First points for Chris, who got the start tonight. So Paez is back in. And one thing you could just sense in the visiting with Carlos is he said everybody's leveled up. It's a clean slate this year. And he really liked that because there was really no one you expected to be in any specific role as Silver hits the 3.
And I'll guarantee you last season when it ended very abruptly at Evansville, they didn't expect to see Tariq Silver, one of those that helped level it up that Carlos talked about a lot. And what he's making reference to, we all know, everybody in the building knows, right, Barry? You had a superstar like Terry Taylor last season, and there were times a lot of people just stood around and waited for him to do something to make it happen. And that's what Carlos is speaking to when he says that. And this guy with a basketball, he has been rock solid for the Governors for the first 2 seasons he's been in Clarksville.
Yeah, he just sounded thrilled about the outlook this year. Play fast, everybody eats, he says, shoots, handles, passes, and he said freedom. He'll put up the 3 here to beat the shot clock, won't go.
And that said, when you basically lose a 2020 guy from your team, all OVC, it still was a nice piece.
Yeah.
The better players ever to set foot in this school.
All-time leading scorer, Terry Taylor, of course, and on to the Indiana Pacers with their G League team as we see Tariq Silver. Tariq's just a great young man to have in the program because he's done and seen it all. Part of the Oregon State team that made that incredible run to the Elite Eight, and he personally destroyed many a bracket back in March with that run they had. But he's very vocal. He's stepping into that elder statesman role even though he's a new guy here.
Yeah, that's going to be a combination of skill, character traits that the Governors are going to need, because we talked a lot about Paez being the most recognizable face of this program. Well, sometimes it's not easy to come home either. So we'll be very curious to see. I can speak for myself to see how Tariq will blend into this team and be that leader that they need, alongside a few others that they really need to step up, and just one of those newcomers.
Shot clock down to 7 as the three is hoisted. It's off the mark, followed up, won't go, tipped again. A way to stay with it on the inside. Jordan Hernandez, as the Govs are beaten badly on the backboards that time. 26-14. Again, Austin Peay easily will break the press. Copeland got hit as he went up. That was great body control not to charge.
Kind of a late whistle there as well. And Copeland easily, we got a great vantage point, but easily he was 2 or 3 feet shy of the bucket. She's trying to hit that floater, and Kevin Easley is pleading his case across the way.
So Copeland will rim it in. He's 2 of 2 at the stripe.
This conference race is as tight as we expected to be this season, Barry. You look at the Governors overall as a team last year, shooting about 71, 72% from the free throw line. You can just inch that up.
Yeah.
That's a big difference when you consider over the course of a season how many free throws you're going to shoot. And that could be a deciding factor. I just got a feeling this year, among many, inside the OVC, there's going to be a lot of 5-7 point games for sure. You're going to want to be able to be, if you can, upper 70s in terms of an overall percent from the free throw line.
We'll get more into that at halftime as we'll look at the preseason poll and discuss things. Steps called, so a turnover, number 4 on Life, as the Govs have doubled them up, 28-14 at the 8:23 mark. Just a little tease, but many of you may know, as you follow Austin Peay, they're picked 6th, and it's really hard to know where to pick this team because they're normally in the top 3, but when you have so many newcomers, you lose Terry Taylor. It was just you got to go somewhere, just put them right in the middle of the pack.
I think 6 is reasonable, actually,
yeah.
when you look at it.
Backdoor lob and a turnover. And a blocking foul. And Diop, the big man, upset as he jumps up. Questions the call by the official.
And Paez, the peacekeeper, will come over and take care of things. And
saying, "Whoa, big fella!"
Kind of like that kind of bite, if you will, in an exhibition game, Barry. You got to obviously got to channel that and get that a little bit under control.
Yeah. And Hassan, I tell you, he is the first 7'2" cameraman you've ever seen. He's also in our sports communication program here at Austin Peay. And there's limited spaces you can get him in, though, and a little camera bay, it's tough at times for the big fella. But, man, he really does everything fast pace. When you watch him practice, everything is 100%.
Speaks to the fact he wanted to come to the United States to earn a college degree.
Calderon can't hit the 3. A lot of contact on the rebound. Pulled down by Hernandez. We'll double check the foul as it's going to lead us to a break. 7:49 to go before halftime. Austin Peay leading it 28-14 over Life here on ESPN+.
Your top salesman is working from home while working to close a deal. But his Uncle Larry decided to stop by 2 weeks ago. This looks like a job for Smile Power. Good thing your employees have dental insurance backed nationally by over 65 years of motor defending experience. So their healthy deal closers are always ready to close. Unleash your Smile Power with Delta Dental of Tennessee. Talk to your employer or visit coveryourmouth.com today to learn more.
Visit Evansville, Indiana, where E is for everyone. Ideal for a weekend getaway, family reunion, group tour, concert or sporting event, small business meeting, or a large convention. Evansville has a fun, friendly environment with all the amenities of a big city. Exciting events, festivals, and attractions all year long. A thriving downtown with new hotels, nightlife, fabulous restaurants, and entertainment. We're conveniently located in the heart of the Midwest with all the charm you could ever hope for. Yes, Hoosier hospitality is alive and well. Come visit Evansville and you will see E is for everyone.
Did you know that Kentucky is home to nearly 1,000 species of wildlife?
The Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife has a team of scientists dedicated to the monitoring and study of animals that are not hunted, fished, or trapped.
We work every day to improve Kentucky's landscape so that these species can thrive.
And now there's a way for you to jump in and help.
When you become a member of Kentucky Wild, we'll work side by side and do our part to keep Kentucky wild.
28-14, Austin Peay leading Life University out of Marietta, Georgia. Cameron Copeland tonight is off to the hot start. 12 points, 4 of 4 from the field, 1 of 1 from downtown, and 3 of 3 at the stripe to go with 3 rebounds. So Copeland really delivering the offense. The transfer from College of Charleston. He played 1 year at North Florida, and he had 1 year at a JUCO, 13 points per game. The guy, even though just 5 points a game a year ago at College of Charleston, he's a guy right away you see that can give you the offense.
2 key words there, right away. Presnell continues to impress. But yeah, right away, he looks to me like a bona fide starter on this Austin Peay team.
Presnell's got 8, and Nathan out of he's a transfer from Simpson University. And bad pass. Paez threw it away. I think he thought Hutchins Everett would roll to the goal, and he didn't. He didn't move. And here's a nice finish at the other end. Govs didn't get back after the turnover. And Farrell scoops it up and in. And the running Eagles running that time, able to cut this lead back down to 10.
Yeah, Paez just is going to be pulled for that pass that you mentioned. And you're right. I thought there was going to be a roll to the basket and be able to accomplish it there. Again, great test. And I know it's early, and I know it's a small sample size, but a great test for this Governor team just to see what these combinations look like, extend some things that Nate James wants to put forward, and that is, you know, I may tolerate 1 or 2 errors, or I may not at all, you know, in the case of the Paez turnover just moments ago. But this is the team in Life University that's going to give you a good run and give you what you want to accomplish coming out of an exhibition game. And Calderon, I'm looking forward to seeing him play. He's right here in front of our broadcast spot, and sharpshooter is the word you used earlier, Barry. I'm looking forward to seeing him launch a few.
Again, with the pressure, we're going to see that pretty much all night out of Life, and we've seen the press out of Austin Peay some tonight as well. As Noel Scott, another one of the new transfers, 6 transfers, 2 freshmen, make up the 8 newcomers and 6 returnees on the team. And underneath, ooh, this could be a big one. Is that 3 on Presnell? Looked like he was pushing in the back. Well, let's see.
They got fortunate. They did not call on him. I thought for a moment that was going to be the case. Oh, check that. It is Presnell's 3rd.
Yeah, they got him for number 3.
Ooh.
And again, he's averaging 24 points, 9 boards through their first 2 games this year. And tell you, we found the guy we want to shoot the technical free throws, haven't we? The big man, Hutchins Everett, 5 for 5 so far. We'll see if we give him the old broadcaster's jinx, but he has looked really good at the stripe.
He's looked really good, period, involved in the game. And love the rotation on it. Just that one jump shot, he just kind of left short and flat. And otherwise, I think he's been solid tonight. And what the Governor should just get that kind of post play again. I always want to project here in November into the conference season, but my goodness, Barry, to be able to get that kind of post play and have that kind of consistency out of the post,
yeah,
like the Governor's chances.
That would be huge when you've got Broom, you've got Muzinski, and some of the other big men in the league. Copeland threw it away. Got a great rebound. Trying to dunk it home is Farrell, and it'll carry him off the rim out of bounds. It'll go to Austin Peay.
Well, Farrell just kind of hanging back, waiting for that bad pass to happen, and it indeed did. And golly, you guys got some leaps in him. He went right to the rack. Was not going to lay it through the square. Instead, he was going to dunk it and just caught the back rim.
Noel Scott will bring it up the court. Multiple ball handlers. You talk about versatility. A lot of guys that can shoot, but you have so many guys that can handle the ball. That should certainly help if you do see teams that press like Life is doing here tonight. Drive by Stone Carrawell. Got the finish. He hit the deck. No call. He's got 4. Back the other way. Shot won't go. Offensive board on the inside. As that's Kelly. He'll kick it out for the deep 3 off the right wing. Around the rim. Wouldn't go for Farrell.
I like the authority there by Hutchins Everett with a rebound, too, on the defensive board.
Here's the 3. It's good. There is the shooter that we've been talking about. Calderon, freshman out of Texas. 46% behind the arc, 16 points per game a year ago.
Getting it done here early in the Dunn Center. I guess I kind of called him out, but I really wanted to see how he shot the ball, be it off the dribble or off the pass.
Deep look from Horton is off the mark. He's got 1 3 tonight, but certainly not bashful. All the way down in the finish. Oh, what a night already for Cameron Copeland. And that's going to lead to a quick timeout by Kevin Easley. Wow.
Yeah, and that's a little bit different. It's saying, oh, well, they didn't get back defensively. That was more athleticism, Barry, when you talk about coming just inside the free throw line with that kind of dunk. And fans here in the Dunn Center have not been too accustomed to that. And, you know, get your scorecard out, folks. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to make sure 24 is in the starting lineup for this Governor team. So I got one of the first 5 starters already notched down come Tuesday night when Tennessee Southern visits.
Right, put that in Sharpie. You don't have to put that one in pencil.
Yeah.
14 for Copeland tonight, 5 of 5 from the field. He's hit his only 3-point attempt, 3 of 3 at the stripe. He's got 5 rebounds and assists, only 1 turnover in his 13 minutes, and he's got the highlight so far tonight.
Not going to say somebody was posterized on that, but I can tell you he was really that athleticism is something we haven't seen a lot of on Governor teams in the past, save Terry Taylor.
So Austin Peay on a nice run, a 9-0 run over the last 2 minutes. They've hit their last 3 field goals. 4:40 mark, they lead 37-18. And again, Life, interesting team to play in an exhibition because they don't think they're ever out of it. If they get the 3-ball going, they can get right back in a hurry. And there's a mid-range game by Hernandez. He's got 4 now. And a steal. Off the window and good.
Now we're going to find out really who the ball handlers are because Life is really feeling it defensively to be able to force that turnover. They got 4 quick points coming out of the timeout.
Hutchins Everett laid it in. That's his first field goal despite making a living at the stripe. Nice finish by the big man on a good seal underneath. Under 4 to go, 39-22, Austin Peay.
And notice Presnell still not on the floor for Life University. You wonder if he's going to sit out the rest of this half.
Barnes' jumper won't go. And Scott will corral it. Copeland just in full attack mode tonight. Wouldn't have counted. He was fouled on the floor, but he'll get to the free throw line.
So it took me a while, but all of you old Governor fans will remember Copeland reminds us a lot of Lawrence Mitchell. That first step by Copeland, especially here on the wing, on the penetration. I'm going back to the 80s, folks, but I can tell you, if physically and talent-wise, a lot like the great Lawrence Mitchell.
That'll lead us to a break. 3:34 to go before halftime here on ESPN+. Austin Peay's led by as many as 19 in this first half. They sit on a 39-22 advantage, 3:34 to go before halftime in the final tune-up exhibition game tonight. And then it's all for real on Tuesday. We're not going to see much of Austin Peay here in Clarksville. They've got one of those typical first-year head coaches who comes in and inherits the bad schedule that everybody put off. They're going to spend a ton of time on the road.
Yeah, they're going to Washington, D.C. for Thanksgiving, and they'll play Howard on Black Friday. That's Vice President Harris's alma mater, so that's a big opportunity. And then they'll head straight from there to Fort Worth for TCU, I believe, the following Tuesday night. And Southern Illinois is also in that pre-Christmas list.
Yeah, they've got a lot of road games. First miss of the night by Copeland. He had not missed a shot from the field, and quick three back the other way. Burrell hits the three. He's got 5 points, 40-25. But this team will certainly be battle tested. When you play all of those road games, you'll certainly get to know each other well, and you'll certainly find out your rotations. But a really good home game with Western Kentucky coming in right before Christmas and right before the start of the OVC.
Yeah, perfect game. Rick Stansbury back in the Dunn Center making a return.
Scott with 2 on the timer at the frozen rope. The runner goes in. He's got 5, does Scott, another one of the newcomers. Sophomore out of Los Angeles, California, 2-time All-State performer, stepping out, turnover. It'll go back to Austin Peay.
Tell you what, those that are keeping track of substitutions, I'd be real interested to look at the substitution in the minutes logged log when it comes after this game. But the Governor's looking at a lot of different formats, and we've seen DJ Peavy for the first time tonight on the floor. Another holdover from last year's team.
And also Jalen Ware for the first time out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Redshirt freshman. Everett with the Hutchins Everett, the handoff to Silver, the former Viking here in town at Northwest, and that's his game right there. Mid-range game, use that size and a little fade away.
Hasn't changed from his high school to his college days, and like we said earlier, he's bringing it home here to Austin Peay.
Nice job by the big fella. He was able to poke it away and then on the floor to get it. Up the floor in a hurry is Peavy. Played some big minutes a year ago for the Govs, and Silver call for steps as he'll turn it over at the top of the key. Tylen Green is back on again, makes his debut tonight. Freshman out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And this is a program, Life University, with some history, despite being a fairly young program. 3 national championships at the NAIA level, 17 appearances in that national tournament. Drive and beautiful finish. Took some contact, but able to get it to go. The first 2 of the night for Champ Dawson.
That's an outstanding play by Dawson. A lot of traffic, a lot of bodies in there, and just really muscled it in.
Silver to a jump stop. His 3, rimming, won't go.
That's an off-balance shot in by Tariq.
And they're going to get Peavy as going baseline with the step was Green. That's the first on Peavy out of Texas, the redshirt junior. Played about 12 minutes a game a year ago for the Govs. Had a high point night of 11 points against Murray State. And played in some big games a season ago.
And his playing time, along with Woodards, who's back in the game, really crept up for the Governors once they got in the conference season last year.
Shot clock hit single digits. Govs extend their defense. Terrell in all kinds of trouble. Now 3 on the timer. And this one is off the mark.
Yeah, that goes back to Alec Woodard on the wing there right in front of the Austin Peay bench. Really causing some problems. Dawson actually, and that kind of got it going, and it just forced up a desperation heave that was an air ball there at the buzzer.
Yeah, it looked ugly. It looked like it was deflected, but it wasn't.
And that's Woodard's forte, Barry, is to play the defense, and he'll give you 2 or 4 a game. But defensively, I think along with Pius, who I mentioned earlier. I think that's going to be kind of the rock of defense for this team.
Calderon again with the three.
He has
hit 2 of them tonight.
I was going to say he has not visited the rim tonight.
They get the steal. Ware bumped, and they'll get the offensive foul on Jalen Ware, his first.
Trying to find out where Ware fits in this rotation and this lineup as you look at it on the floor. You know, he's coming in at 6'8", so another guy of good size. Does he match up with Hutchins Everett a lot of times on the floor? Going to be really curious to see that combination potentially as the season wears on. But when it comes to size, I think this Governor team has more. You know, it looks great on paper, right? You got to execute it and all of those cliches, Barry. But I think in terms of size and the talent inside of that size, I think this could be a very remarkable team, a very different team than what we've seen in seasons past.
Life able to throw over the top on the pressure. We're looking at about a 4-second difference, shot clock, game clock. Good rotation, and there's that link. Hutchins Everett able to close out on the jump shooter, got the deflection on the block. Austin Peay up the floor, and look, the big man, the first guy down there, goes up, put it in.
Love the big guy running the floor. It starts with the defense and the deflection.
3 to beat the buzzer, off the mark, and that'll do it for the first half. An impressive first half of play for Austin Peay, as they're able to put 49 points on the board. They were in control throughout, played a lot of players. We're going to see more of the youngsters getting their first touches here in the second half, but a really good first half performance here in the exhibition. 49-27, Austin Peay with the lead here at the break, led by Cameron Copeland. We're going to take a look at all the numbers in the first half and kind of talk a little bit about the OVC, the preseason poll. We'll do that coming up as halftime is coming your way. Austin Peay leading here at the break as we take a timeout here on ESPN+. Here at halftime, Austin Peay holding their biggest lead of the night, a 22-point advantage, leading 49-27. And Bob, your impression so far of this first 20 minutes?
A couple things I noted. Obviously, Cameron Copeland is having an outstanding coming out party here tonight in the Dunn Center already with 15 and a half. Elijah Hutchins Everett with 10. Again, another newcomer, Hutchins Everett, getting it done in the post. And again, I cannot stress enough, I really like Life University in terms of being an OVC-esque, absent maybe some of the size there. Governors have gotten themselves to the free throw line 13 times, or 12 of 13 there. I think that's crucial to kind of look at.
Tonight, they've broken the press, and they've made life pay for it when they did so.
Yeah, and respectfully, that's the difference in talent when you talk about Middle Tennessee versus Life. And the Governors had some problems with that press Sunday, fell behind, and then clawed their way back into it, didn't finish it out there at Middle. So that's something to look at. You're going to see it more and more. And so, knowing you're seeing it, I think is important here to be able to prepare for it.
That's a look at the stats. We'll come back with more of halftime after this. Austin Peay's never trailed tonight, shooting 59%. They've got the big lead here at the break in their final exhibition against Life University. And this is the 47th and final season in the Dunn Center, building that opened in 1975, as Austin Peay will move downtown to the F&M Bank Arena next year. And it's the final season in the OVC. And Bob, it looks like as several teams will be leaving the conference after this year, but this is shaping up now that we've seen Austin Peay in person. This could be one of the best conference races we've seen in a long time.
And going out with a bang here when you look at Belmont, Moorhead, and Murray State 1, 2, 3. And I don't have a real big argument with that. And then when you get to 4, 5, and 6, which includes Austin Peay at 6, SEMO at 4, Tennessee State at 5, that's when it kind of gets interesting where, like most seasons, Barry, I think the middle of the conference in preseason, one of those 2 or 3 will emerge, and obviously hope it'll be the Governor's Series if you're that way. SIUE, Tennessee Tech. I'm a little curious about Tennessee Tech relative to this conference because I think John Pelfrey has stacked that team with a lot of newcomers. You talk about Nate James and the Governors here. Peruse that Tennessee Tech roster, and then Eastern Illinois with a new coach there. Marty Simmons returning to that area, and then UT Martin with a new coach as well. So I'm comfortable with that. What do you think, my friend?
No, I agree. It's hard to pick against Belmont with all they have coming back and what they do in the regular season. They've been so dominant since they've joined this league. And, and as you look at some of the players returning, I mean, Belmont's just loaded. You have to pick them in that top spot. But Moorhead State, that didn't stop them a year ago.
No, they came out of nowhere to win it, win the tournament, and play pretty well at the NCAA tournament as well. So I really like the way this laid out, not only because that's how I picked it.
More of halftime after this. Both teams back out just a couple of minutes away from the start of the second half. As Life University, they are stepping out to play an exhibition game here tonight. I believe they've got one more on their schedule. They're going to play Mercer coming up down in Macon, Georgia. And the rest of the way, they'll play their regular NAIA opponents and get into conference play very soon.
So you're from a part of the world where there's this story that says everything is related to that world, right?
Yeah.
From Hopkinsville. William Turner, the great historian there, always says that, right?
Yeah.
Well, how about that? I mean, there's a link to Life University in Mercer because Susie Gardner is the head women's coach at Mercer.
That's right.
So there's your Austin Peay connection right there to Life. And what do they say that's 6 degrees of separation
I think
or whatever?
So, yeah. Kevin Bacon or something.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You know, it's so that's the thing I think about. I always equate that. But you talk about, we look it up here at Brooke Armistead at the end of the arena here, and there's one of the stalwarts of Susie Gardner here. Susie left here and went on to Woo Pig Suey. It didn't work out all that well there, but she's done extremely well after a couple of assistant jobs getting back into that coaching. So there's your Mercer connection there. Governor's played them in football last season?
Yeah,
season
I think
before
so.
last?
A couple of years ago.
Man, it's a long drive. That's a hard place to get to from
Macon,
here.
Georgia,
As the old saying goes, from here, right?
Yeah. And we had a first look at the women's team in the opener tonight, a game you saw right here on ESPN Plus, and that's a team with a lot of talent. When they put it together, they could be a major factor in the race this year in the OVC.
And you talk about the impact of transfers there. You talk about a graduate transfer in Carly Pace, finished her career at Eastern Illinois, and now is on this Lady Governor team. And so she and a couple of others were really impressive tonight. A win over Freed Hardeman in our earlier game.
So all Austin Peay as expected tonight. Shooting lights out, 59% in the first half. They hold the Running Eagles to 35%. And again, that big lead of the first half is the halftime score, 49-27. Cameron Copeland's debut has almost been perfect. 15 points for him tonight. Elijah Hutchins Everett, the big 4-star recruit, the freshman, with 10 points there. The two Govs in double figures. No one from Life into double figures yet. Nathan Presnell, their leading scorer, has 8 here at the break, but he picked up 3 fouls in the first half. And along with Asan Diouf, the big man, the 7'2" center for Austin Peay, really the only 2 players in any kind of foul difficulty as we're ready to go here. Second half, Carlos Paez didn't score in that first half. Here's a look inside, and Hutchins Everett, we saw early on he rushed it, but here he's been much more under control because he's got the big advantage in the paint.
And you get that lob for him in that low post. Again, projecting forward. I know of very few outside of Nick Mazinski at Belmont and maybe Broom of Moorhead that can really defend that. And it's a good early look for the Governors when it comes to that. You talked about Copeland. The only blemish first half for him was he missed a free throw. Other than that, he was perfect in the line score, perfect from the field.
Hutchins Everett will get the foul.
And it kind of goes without saying, if you're Life, you want to get that basketball. That's a nice triple drive and a chance for a three-point play. Get to Presley. He missed a lot of the first half after picked up 2 fouls really quickly in the first 2 or 3 minutes, and picked that third one up there about midway point of the first half.
Calderon's going to come in. He had a couple of threes in that first half. Carrawell gets his first, and he'll exit. So Calderon, you and I both talking at the half. Is it Calderon or Calderon? We're going to ask him here after this game tonight.
Let's call him Texas.
Yeah, there you go. Hernandez will complete the three-point play. 51-30 as Chino, as he's called. Carlos Paez will bring it up with that left-hand dribble. Get it to Silver. Get the screen out high from Hutchins Everett. Let's see if he can shoot it from deep. That one way off the mark.
I think you got your answer there.
Yeah.
You got that kind of talent. You want to be in the post a lot.
Right. We want to see you in the paint.
So that's the one you chalk up, Barry. Exhibition game.
There you go. Right.
That's how you answer that one when it comes down to it.
So the Govs work on some high-low in their practice on Monday, and of course that was the offense we saw them run so much to get Terry Taylor some looks. And Life University starting to do things off the dribble to get some fouls on Austin Peay. And it looks like Paez will get this one. That's his first tonight. But, you know, I think they went into the Middle Tennessee game and they were playing a lot of the 5 out, you know, just really spread the floor from looking at what they did in their scrimmage at Gov's Madness. And they realized, look, we've got to figure out a way to get the ball into the paint. And they were working on a lot more looks to get Hutchins Everett some touches on in practice. And they say, we've got an advantage most nights with that guy in the post. He needs to touch it.
Well, I think it's also a classic case of, and we saw a lot of this last season, back to Terry Taylor again, you got a couple of set plays you probably want to run out of the outset, start of the game, and see if you can establish that. And, yeah, you're not going to go to it every time down the floor. It's a rare case of Hutchins Everett being out-rebounded there, too. You're not going to see that play after play down the floor, but you want to see how it's going to be defended, and you want to see if you can be successful all the same. And so,
yeah,
we'll probably do a lot of that with this guy right here with the basketball.
He'll get a touch at the left block, the spin, and he's going to draw foul number 4 on Presnell.
Wasted no time in going right at him in the low post, and I'm, you know, kind of surprised. I mean, he matches up the best against Hutchins Everett on the floor, but my goodness, a minute and a half into the second half, and he's already got 4.
Yeah, at 6'9", Presnell is their tallest player. Hutchins Everett back to the stripe, where he has been perfect tonight. He's got 13 points. So Presnell out at the 18-24 mark, right after getting an offensive board and a stick back to get him into double figures with 10 points. But that 4th foul and a free throw stays in there. But Hutchins Everett's going to go to the bench because he gave up that offensive rebound to Presnell. And we'll see the big 7'2" Hassan Diouf check back in. Paez will get the steal. Govs look to run. Paez will wait for Silver. Silver's going to travel with it.
That's the second time tonight Tariq has taken one too many.
Tylen Green back in.
And credit Silver being at the right place on the floor. It was a 2-on-2, and Paez just looked off into the left wing and expected him to be there. And at that point, Silver had an open lane to the basket. Just that little anticipation and too many steps too quickly.
LifeView trying to run some cuts back door. Shot clock down to 8. Post up on the inside. Turnaround won't go. Another offensive rebound. Coach James will not like that. And a nice finish with that right hand. That's Tylen Green.
That's a nice return and a nice bucket. Using that glass high and just, to your point, being out rebounded the Governors there on the offensive boards. Defensive boards, rather.
Here comes the press, the trap. Paez will bounce it ahead to Copeland. Here's a 3 out of that right corner. This time won't go for Calderon. High for the rebound. Copeland, offensive board. They back off. He's going to set up Diouf, and he'll send it in.
That's worth 2 assists, Barry. Just from the standpoint that Copeland, of course, we had a great vantage point, had a lane to the basket, and when he went to that penetration, that's when the big guy came from the wing for the dunk.
Good hands underneath, but the ball hit the basket support, so it'll be off Austin Peay. And back to LifeView.
The big guy knows what to do with the basketball when he gets it, right, partner?
He does. And when you watch them practice, every time he touches it, dunks it really hard. No laying it up for Hassan.
Pretty good high percentage shot.
Calderon trying to stay on the dribble. Help defender comes, and there's a little baseline jumper that's good for Kelly, his first 2 tonight.
This is where I talk about this Kevin Easley team is well coached. That clearly is a case of the penetration and able to draw 3 defenders in and then just kick it right back to the wing.
Again, if you just tuned in tonight, Kevin Easley, if that name sounds familiar, yes, former Austin Peay Governor. Played here from 1997 to 2001. back here tonight, head coach of Life U. Paez penetration, Calderon all day to dial it up and got it. His third three of the night.
What do you say? What can you say about that, right? It's just not an over-the-top superlative. And here's Woodard again playing that kind of defense we've known him to play. But, I mean, Calderon not seen the rim at all tonight. I mean, not drawn iron. Every shot has been just beautiful.
I think Coach James has found his shooter,
Yep.
one of many, but that's the reason he's here. A deadly marksman in high school, 1,000-point scorer in Texas, and he is living up to the hype here tonight.
So take a look at this lineup if you're Austin Peay. You've got the shooter you mentioned, Calderon. You've got the defender in Woodard. You've got big height, and just as soon as I say that, there's a penetration off the glass. But you've got, I like this five on the floor right now for the Governors.
And Coach Easley's got a good one. Tylen Green, his debut tonight, freshman out of Raleigh, North Carolina, has got 4 points. Very impressive takes to the hole.
And we failed to mention in the first half, but Elton Walker is also in the game for the Governors. And you look at that big zero. He's a high flyer too. Very, very athletic.
Played some big minutes a year ago. One of the 6 returnees from last year's team. Dayu's going to get a touch at the left block. He gets into the double team, dumped it off to Scott. Able to beat the shot clock buzzer, but couldn't get the reverse to go. His team is aware. They look for one another. You like the unselfishness.
Very much. That goes back to your Paez quote you had in the first half about this team.
Tipped out. It'll go to Austin Peay. But first, we will head to a break. 15:07 to go. Austin Peay maintaining that 20-point advantage here in exhibition night. 58-38. They have the lead. We're back to Clarksville after you watch this on ESPN+.
Your top salesman is working from home while working to close a deal. But his Uncle Larry decided to stop by 2 weeks ago. This looks like a job for Smile Power. Good thing your employees have dental insurance backed nationally by over 65 years of motor defending experience. So their healthy deal closers are always ready to close. Unleash your Smile Power with Delta Dental of Tennessee. Talk to your employer or visit coveryourmouth.com today to learn more.
Visit Evansville, Indiana, where E is for everyone. Ideal for a weekend getaway, family reunion, group tour, concert or sporting event, small business meeting, or a large convention. Evansville has a fun, friendly environment with all the amenities of a big city. Exciting events, festivals, and attractions all year long. A thriving downtown with new hotels, nightlife, fabulous restaurants, and entertainment. We're conveniently located in the heart of the Midwest with all the charm you could ever hope for. Yes, Hoosier hospitality is alive and well. Come visit Evansville and you will see E is for everyone.
Did you know that Kentucky is home to nearly 1,000 species of wildlife?
The Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife has a team of scientists dedicated to the monitoring and study of animals that are not hunted, fished, or trapped.
We work every day to improve Kentucky's landscape so that these species can thrive.
And now there's a way for you to jump in and help.
When you become a member of Kentucky Wild, we'll work side by side and do our part to keep Kentucky wild.
20-point lead for Austin Peay here tonight. Barry Gresham, Bob Belvin with you courtside. Good to be back here in the Dunn Center for some basketball. It always seems like it when it gets here, it just creeps up on us, and the hoop season is here, and it is ready to go. Opening night for everybody around the country will be Tuesday night, including Austin Peay. Will be back here at home. The men will be, the women will be on the road.
Yeah, scheduling quirk I just looked at. Kind of caught my eye, and it wasn't in my prep. Governors play a lot of games in the month of November. I think that's kind of a change from seasons past.
Dayu tried to follow up the Woodard miss, but he couldn't finish the dunk. And now Life on the break. Austin Peay gets back. Kelly had it knocked away by Woodard. He recovers. Great defense on the interior. And we'll get the tie up. Jump ball. Possession arrow will go to Life.
And we talked about them all counting beginning Tuesday night with UT Southern, or as I like to say, the artist formerly known as Martin Methodist. The Governors are going road to SIU. I mentioned it earlier, Purdue, Fort Wayne, Dayton, Howard, day after Thanksgiving, and TCU. That's all in November.
Wow.
That's a heavier schedule of games in November than I can recall in some time.
Beautiful inbounds. Tylen Green, the freshman, now with 6 points. You mentioned Coach Easley. You know, a good coach, they run good out-of-bounds sets, and he's had some beautiful looks tonight. Woodard will skip it over. Driving, hanging, finishing. He's doing it all tonight. That's not Copeland, but that's another guy, Caleb Stone Carrawell. They're both 6'7". He looked a lot like Copeland on that one.
I could see how you would be easily confused, because I was as well, especially down the other end of the floor. That's athleticism, and that's, you know, that might be an upgrade in this team when you look at this compared to last season's team for the Governors.
Yeah. Stone Carrawell, two-time state champion. What a finish. Out of control, just threw it up off the window, and in it goes for Cam Horton. Give him 7 tonight. But Stone Carrawell, at 6'7", 215, he's got about 30 pounds on Copeland, but both the same height. Just 3 off the mark. Stone Carrawell, 13 games at Charlotte, was a redshirt in 2020. Had 1 double-figure game against UTEP for the 49ers. But it's in the genes. Again, his dad, the great player at Duke. And the jumper's good, so all of a sudden Life is getting comfortable in their half court, and they're knocking some shots down.
Well, that's who they are, Barry, and their percentages are even in the 30s in terms of from the field. They really don't care. It's their style that they want to go up and down the floor, play full court, and generate more opportunities for them. And then sometimes those percentages are going to be less. How about this? Ooh.
Off the mark, Stone Carrawell, but a big rebound.
That's Elton Walker, and that's what we've come to expect out of him. Governor fans have a lot of athleticism there.
He just springs off the floor. Skip pass to Woodard, 7 on the timer. He'll dump it off to Walker, and we'll get the foul. As he went to the hole, both officials looked at one another, and finally they blew it at the same time, but that was an obvious call.
Now Walker's the high flyer, and knowing last season for being inserted in the game, a little instant offense, it seemed like at times last season when he would come in the game, he'd get a dunk like within the first 1 or 2 minutes and really kind of get the team going at that point in time. And maybe that's something they'll see out of him here the remainder of the second half, but it's got to improve that. And that is something that I just recall without even having to look at the statistics. That was a real problem for Elton last season, was from the free throw line. He was not very solid there. Watch Pressley again back into the game, and may go after 2-4 here, but Walker's got to get better here from the free throw line. And again, I bragged on the Governors in the first half, but you don't want to revert to having a season where you're in the upper 60s, low mid 70s. You probably need to creep that number up, because you're going to be involved in a lot of close games in this conference.
Walker right on his average from a year ago, so you nailed it. 50% was his free throw percentage. 3 points, 3 boards a game for Elton, the senior out of Miami, Florida, last year. Good block as Corbin Merritt. Merritt has battled injuries throughout his entire collegiate career, played a season at Oklahoma, was banged up really most of last year. Bad pass, a steal. So Life is trying to get back into this ball game under the 12-minute mark. And shot won't go, and a blocking foul underneath on Scott for Austin Peay.
You like to see these kinds of occurrences or trends inside of an exhibition game. You really don't want to see it in a regular season. But now we've kind of got sloppy, maybe street ball by some definitions. Kind of interested to see how the Governors kind of reply to that. Who will step forward and kind of settle them down?
We'll head to a break. We'll find out when we come back. Austin Peay leading 61-44 on ESPN+.
Okay.
61-44, 11:50 to go in this final and only exhibition game for Austin Peay in front of the home folks. Had their Govs Madness event a week ago, played their scrimmage at the Murphy Center against MTSU, and now it's for real. And as Bob documented, it's going to be a lot of games on the road. He's going to find out really what his team's made of. They're going to play in some tough places, but trying to figure out their rotations. They're going to be battle tested here very early in this season.
And I think, this is Nate James's first season as a head coach, but I would just kind of surmise it's probably what you want to see early on. There's a lot of ebb and flows in the season. We all know that. We've seen, teams like, the way Morehead State came out last year, right? And kind of middle of the pack, and all of a sudden exploded late, wins the tournament, goes to the NCAA. The fact of business is you probably want to see your team in a lot of adverse situations here early on. That guy, if he could just contribute, Corbin Merritt, just get some quality minutes out of him in the 40-minute game.
Yeah, he's got a lot of ability. Again,
draws a foul here.
Injuries. Farrell picks it up. That is his first.
Yeah, you're right. Merritt really has struggled with the injuries and just never really got unleashed, I think, is probably what I'd like to describe that as. You could get some quality minutes out of him, and then this new front court the Governors have.
Yeah.
Wow. Could very much be a contender, in my opinion.
Former three-star high school recruit out of Lloyd, Florida, played a little JUCO ball, and then played a season at Oklahoma, and really just could never really get going a year ago and contribute. Did get one start last season, started a game against UT Martin. But seems healthy, has looked good in practice, and could see him contributing this year. Prestel's back in, he'll try the three, it's off the mark. Another big offensive rebound. We've seen several of those in this half. Zach Stewart, who didn't play in the first half, is getting some minutes here in the second. Prestel will roll to the basket, and that'll do it for him tonight. Fifth foul, just could really not stay out of foul trouble, but he did get the double figures with 10 points as he exits at the 10:21 mark.
Now they're only saying 4. So check on that. He's going pretty deep in the bench, partner. I think he might. I didn't hear the Longhorn. That's what I was looking for.
And they've got 4 here as I look at the live stats. But so he's been saved. Somebody needs to tell the coach that. Govs break it, and Merritt gets the layup.
Long diagonal pass, Barry. That's the difference right there. The Governor's able to throw it at the top of the double team, go into the corner, and then Paez able to find Merritt.
Skip pass to the right corner. Good ball movement. 3 is good. Haven't seen many of those go down tonight, but Trey Kelly gets his first. He's got 5 points.
See the difference from this type of game than perhaps a predominant half-court game we saw in the first half? This is what the exhibition season's for. You only get one.
Is 4 of 17 from downtown are the Running Eagles. Nice finish off the bounce. Drew Calderon.
Your bomber from outside gets the penetration inside with a reverse layup.
He's got 11. And whistling a foul.
Love that response by Silver. Then, whoa, me? When he come back up. It looked like it was a lot of ball then. But again, the aggressiveness by Silver, you'll take. The numbers haven't been there necessarily all that much for him tonight.
Yeah, just 7 as he gets his second foul. But he is thrilled to be back home. This is going to be a special year for him. He is so pumped up. Underneath, nice backdoor cut and a good find as Tylen Green, 8 points for him in his debut tonight.
If I haven't said it ad nauseum tonight, Barry, that's just a well-coached team. They're not shooting all that well, Life University that is, but they're just fundamentally, to your point earlier with the inbounds pass on the dead ball, just the little things that they do, they seem to do them well.
Merritt draws a triple team out for the three. And the double nickel, Tariq Silver bangs it home.
Just as soon as you mentioned Silver's numbers are down, he moves on to double figures.
Second three tonight for Tariq. Nice backdoor by Green. He'll set up the three off the left wing, won't go. And that's really been the difference, the reason this is not a single-digit game. Silver will give it up. Here's a three Calder on left side, won't go. Merritt rebound, up and in.
The offensive rebound with the right positioning underneath. And Merritt would make Hutchins Everett proud. He went straight to the basket with the dunk.
Trey Kelly will get the foul, his second. 15th foul on the running Eagles. That'll lead us to a media break. 7:58 to go. Govs leading 72-51 on ESPN+.
We build on success and the success of others. But we are more than sports. We are institutions that play a special role. We are a community that cares, supporting one another beyond the field of competition. Now and always, we are all together. We are all the Ohio Valley Conference.
You don't become a legend by being distracted. Legends are born out of discipline and focus. We are Legends Bank. Committed, strong, and growing stronger. Be part of something legendary. Legends Bank. Member FDIC.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor.
I thought I could hold my liquor.
Down the stretch we go, 7:58 to play, 72-51. College basketball here tonight in the Dunn Center. The women got a victory, game one over Freed Hardeman, and they'll open up their season on the road Tuesday night. Austin Peay trying to close up shop here with a win in this exhibition, and then UT Southern will be the opponent, another NAIA opponent to open things up on Tuesday night before a long road trip. In fact, I don't think we'll see Austin Peay again until December the 5th after next Tuesday.
And Milligan in town then, and I'm going to go back with your 6 degrees of separation. Tennessee Southern used to be coached when it was known as Martin Methodist by Scott Combs.
Yep.
Assistant now at Morehead State and on Dave Luce's staff here. And Scott Combs and Kevin Easley know each other as well. So there's my other 6 degrees of separation lesson for the night.
Right, we've always got the connection. Near steal. And another near steal, down to 5 on the timer. Here's a 3 out of the left corner, won't go, and deflected out, and it'll stay with Life.
Again, just not making shots. If you're Life University, you're getting the looks, you're getting the effort, and they're going really deep in the shot clock. Have to think the governor's athleticism had something to do with that. Just as soon as I say that, there you go.
Fifth made 3 of the night for the running Eagles. Hernandez, 14 for him. So Hernandez, the high point man for the running Eagles. averaging 12 through the first 2 games. They've got 2 wins, 2 regular season wins. They played back-to-back nights at home in Marietta, Georgia last weekend, and they won both matchups, putting up a bunch of points on the board. Into Hutchins Everett, and much under control, not rushing it. Got the advantage and putting more points on the board. He's got 16 tonight.
And I'm old school, Barry, but you like the big guy just using the square off the glass there, working through the double team up and under, and just laid it off the glass.
And Hutchins Everett is more of the old school post player. He's got the low base to the ground. He's not going to be a high flyer. Take his time. You could tell he had the jitters early. He rushed some shots in the paint, but so comfortable at the stripe where he's not missed a free throw this evening, and he'll just get better and better.
It cannot be said enough. Your big guy's going to get opportunities underneath. Got to make those free throws when he's fouled.
Beautiful backdoor cut, and Tariq Silver with 12 tonight. Ball tipped out. It'll stay with Life as Diouf will come back in for Hutchins Everett. 16 tonight for the big fella. 8 of 8 at the stripe, 4 of 8 from the field. Just a couple of rebounds for Hutchins Everett.
Speaking of Life, Presnell returns to the game with a, I don't know if he's got 9 lives, but we thought he had 5 fouls earlier.
I know there's some rules changes, but I thought 5 and you're out. But this week,
did you read your rules change information that was sent to you yesterday? Do's and don'ts.
Started watching it today,
okay, all right,
but didn't get through it. It's
intense.
Yes.
Okay, well,
so
I'll go ahead and admit to the crew that's me too, right? Okay.
So it looks like from the part I watched, as the Govs will break the pressure, laid up and wouldn't go, tipped off, back up, staying with it, and finally Preston will clear it for Life. But from what I could tell, watch the early part of the video. There's Green again.
Great choice to go early with a shot over the 7'2" Diouf and put that high above the square.
Oh, he is a good-looking player. At 6'4", that freshman's going to have a big-time season. Here's a 3 out of the right corner. It's good. Caleb Stone-Carrawell. He's got 9 tonight as he hits his first 3 here in the Dunn Center.
Since you didn't get through that entire video, there's a refresher course at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Okay,
here at the
yeah.
So get that before class, right?
Yeah, you bring the donuts. Foul underneath. And we'll see who's going to pick it up for the Govs.
You know, I envision that some of the advanced learning going on now. I envision that all of the coaches had to watch it and electronically sign off on it, right? And the amount of time they spent watching it's logged, and you know, all of those modern conveniences you have now to make sure you get the word out. But it didn't seem to be that dramatic in terms of changes inside the rules or the derived interpretation of them, shall we say.
Right.
You're okay, man. Now I'm not going to be the one that's going to give you a refresher on it, but
I'll get
that's
through
for the
it.
Class tomorrow morning at
Right.
6 a.m. here, right?
I'll get through it, but the part that I watched at the beginning was really the jump stops and what is a travel, and it as Scott's going to get, or Caleb Stone-Carrawell, beg your pardon, he'll get another bucket, puts him in double figures with 11, but it's looking, even though they said it's not going to be like the NBA game, it's looking a lot more like it. A lot of the moves I saw that they're going to not call a travel on this year look like a lot of the James Harden step backs.
I don't think Harden's ever been called for a travel in modern time. Is that correct, Barry?
We're still waiting, yeah.
You're a Kentucky guy. You should know that.
But they have changed some of the rules as far as how he gets fouled, and he has struggled to start the year. Copeland, he's been quiet this half, but he bangs home a 3, his second 3 of the night, and he's got 18 points in his debut.
It's got to warm a coach's heart to see how well of a first half Copeland had, and he's not played a lot here in the second half, but what he hadn't scored up until that point, but he's just going at it, just staying at it. This is this is obviously going to end up being a blowout as we get here to the under 4, but I think it's real important to kind of watch this last 3.5 and see how both of these teams play, because I guarantee you the guys in green, they're not going to quit.
84-59, all Austin Peay here tonight with 3:39 to go. But you like to see it. You play these exhibition games. Bring in a former alum, a former Gov, and let him showcase his team here tonight. Come back, see a lot of familiar faces. Kevin Easley in his 4th year, the head coach at Life University. I know he's certainly thrilled to be back.
Thought you were talking about me with a former alum. That would be going back. You said 47 years of the Dunn Center. I'm trying to think. It's
more. Yeah.
Been here for 30 some of them. I can promise you that.
Yeah. Scott with the rebound. He'll go coast to coast. Takes the bump. Can't get it to go. And now Life back the other way. They'll get to finish. Kylan Green hammers it home. 12 points all coming in the second half for the freshman. Back out to Woodard. Here's 3. Right wing, too strong. Rebounded Merritt. Up and in. Corbin Merritt.
He's the big guy on the floor now at the 5 is Merritt. And that's a bad backdoor defense in by Jalen Ware.
Yeah,
really got beat.
Green has been beating a lot of players in white tonight with beautiful backdoor cuts. A guy that knows how to play, and he's really finished well with that one hand up over bigger players. Silver, his step back 3 off the mark. Scott's been everywhere, shown a really good motor tonight. Noel out of Los Angeles.
Anthony Davis, I'm trying to think, is probably the last governor from Los Angeles. He turned out really well for the guy sitting on the back row of the lower section there, Dave Luce.
Certainly did. Pull-up jumper won't go, and there's Ware to pull the rebound down. Again, Jalen, the redshirt freshman out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Under 2 to go, 86-63. And Nate James, his debut here at the Dunn Center. Of course, played at Duke from 96 to 2001, part of their 2001 national championship team. Merritt's rebound, he'll get fouled and get himself to the free throw line.
Well, that's after the fact, but Merritt would probably be better served by going back up instead of trying to use the rim as an extra defenseman and going up and under right there. And he had an angle that we're blessed with seeing from this vantage point, a little bit better than he probably thought it was at that point in time. So we'll be with you Tuesday night for Tennessee Southern, or UT Southern. And then we'll not be back with you again until another
we'll
NAIA
take a month
school.
off.
No, until another NAIA school Milligan comes in for a Sunday afternoon game.
And of course, Nate James, 13 years as an assistant to Mike Krzyzewski, who will start his final season with a matchup against Kentucky on Tuesday night at Madison Square Garden.
You guys are looking forward to it, right? Is that the early? That's the late game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We will be hustling out of here on Tuesday night for that one.
They got radio for that, Barry. You'll be okay. We can listen to Mike Leach. We'll be okay. These guys are doing double duty now this time of year, just like you, right?
Yep, they are. 2 titles as an assistant for Coach James at Duke, 2010-2015. And he was a 1996 McDonald's All-American, 2-time captain at Duke. Very entrenched, just a mainstay with that Duke program as Coach James.
Love to hear him talk about the culture that is Duke. I mean, steeped in tradition and all of the, you can use all those superlatives and articulate those, but when you've kind of lived it and you're challenged like Nate James is with kind of projecting that onto your current team and your first head coaching job, a lot of things going to be going through his head as he goes through this season.
Bates hits the 3 as he comes in. Cody Bates.
Limited time last year.
Looks like just a 2, had a foot on the line. A line driver, but he put it in. 90-63. His teammates absolutely love him. Nice finish here by Ware. He'll get in the scoring column.
Governor's in a press to get to 100. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that.
Chandler Clements on the floor, so all 15 that dressed tonight are on the court. Peavy's going to knock it away. And Life will have it. We hit the 22nd mark in this one. Jumper off the mark, and Ware will rip it down, and he'll just walk it up. Everybody got a chance to play, break a little sweat, get into a game, and quite a few got into the scoring column tonight as Austin Peay will take care of business in this exhibition victory. 92-63, the final count for the Govs. Their high point men tonight. Copeland with 18, 16 for Hutchins Everett, 12 for Silver tonight. 6 players in double figures to get those 92 points. And Bob, as we wrap things up, you got everything you wanted out of this. Everybody got a chance to contribute.
Well, I do, you do, leave the arena tonight feeling yes. The big question is, how does Nate James feel about it? We'll see and hear about it in the coming days to come. I'm pretty confident, to your point, very late, got all 15 in. I think mission accomplished as far as wanting to get the looks, the combinations, all of those things. I think the Governor's got it done tonight.
Nice win. Everything counts from here on. 92-63. The Govs get the win tonight over Life University. So that's going to wrap things up from here at the Dunn Center. Reminder, we'll be back with you Tuesday night, 7 o'clock tip. UT Southern is in to open up the regular season. As we wrap things up, remind you all games airing on ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.